Part 1. The Darkness of the Old World and the Fate Whisper Room. The ocean, our world's greatest, most ancient, and most silent confidant. For hundreds and hundreds of years, the surface of this massive, seemingly endless body of water was merely a path to be explored for humanity, a restless mirror reflecting the sky, while its depths remained in absolute, impassable darkness. Humanity, forever dreaming of reaching the distant stars in the sky, always hesitated to descend into the cold, crushing depths of its very own world. On that freezing, starless April night in 1912, when the massive, majestic Titanic sank into the dark, unforgiving waters, it wasn't just that colossal ship of dreams that went down. The great hubris humanity felt against the immense, untamable power of nature was also pulled down, pulled deep to the bottom of the ocean, sinking into the freezing and absolute silent darkness. Years passed, decades drifted by like autumn leaves on the water, and centuries faded away. 4,000 meters below the crashing waves, the ocean floor turned into an unreachable legend, a silent, lonely monument. There, in the absolute midst of crushing pressure and pitch black, motionless darkness, that massive wreck lay hidden, resting like a forgotten secret, untouched and undisturbed by the passing of time on the surface. Some whispered for generations that there were lost treasures, glowing pearls and priceless diamonds locked inside that wreck. Others only searched for the emotional traces of that great tragedy, wanting to touch that frozen, heartbreaking moment in history. The brave, yet incredibly fragile people of the old world tried to go. Hiding themselves behind thick, heavy steel walls and dense titanium armor, they tried to descend into this terrifying depth in narrow, claustrophobic, and cold submarines. They defied the ancient rules of nature, trusting only the metallic armor they built with their own hands. Sometimes they succeeded, piercing the darkness to reach that depth, and successfully carrying those pale, ghostly images back up to the sunlight. But sometimes, the unforgiving, massive, silent power of the ocean effortlessly broke the resistance of metal. For a very long time, those dark, deep waters became the ultimate symbol of fear, inaccessibility, and mortal danger. The unfathomable weight of that massive body of water was an insurmountable wall for the soft human body, a wall that demanded absolute, unwavering respect. But the walls of time, just like the physical borders of the ocean, exist only to be gracefully crossed. Right now, we are somewhere far beyond the ticking clocks of time. This is the Fate Whisper Room, humanity's secret, incredibly peaceful, and enchanting gateway to the distant future. Its smooth, rounded walls are illuminated with soft, warm, amber lights that breathe in a slow rhythm, and the air inside smells faintly of fresh rain and the comforting scent of old, beloved books. In the exact center of this quiet time machine room rests a massive, perfectly smooth crystal console, glowing with a heartbeat of its own. There are Leo and Zoe in this room, sitting in deeply cushioned chairs. In their calm eyes, you can read the great, sweet excitement of discovering the terrifying unknowns of the past, through the absolute safety and miracles of the future. Leo gently raises his hand, and runs his fingertips slowly over the glowing, warm crystal console. The crystal immediately responds with a soft, incredibly comforting hum that vibrates through the floor. I want to go to that darkest, most isolated point in history, right next to the resting Titanic, he whispers, his voice barely breaking the silence as he turns to Zoe. But I want to go without fearing the dark, feeling completely and utterly safe, completely protected from the weight of the water. Zoe smiles softly, her shoulders dropping as she takes a deep, long, relaxing breath. The velvety, wise, and deeply soothing voice of the artificial intelligence system in the room. Fate Whisper echoes beautifully in the warm void. Welcome. Leo and Zoe, steering the massive, flowing river of time is entirely in your gentle hands. The coordinates for our very first jump have been locked and set. The year is 2072. We are going to an era where the ocean is no longer a dark enemy, but a compassionate, weightless vacuum of space. Please, Whenever you are ready, touch the softly glowing button on the transition panel. With that great, peaceful curiosity resting inside their chests, Leo and Zoe reach out and gently press the soft, glowing button. As the warm amber lights in the room slowly, beautifully turn into a deep, mesmerizing ocean blue, the fabric of space and time bends around them, wrapping them with a cotton-like softness. Transition to the future, 2072 and the serenity of quantum glass. The year 2072. That crushing, terrifying depth is no longer an enemy. The ocean is merely a compassionate and massive vacuum of space where we float weightlessly, like astronauts drifting through a liquid galaxy. Before you, there is no trace of those heavy, noisy, and dark submarines of the anxious old eras. At the quiet, futuristic port, resting lightly on the calm water like a delicate, floating lotus leaf, is that brand new vehicle. A flawless, perfect sphere made entirely of transparent, pressure-sensitive quantum glass. Inside this beautiful bubble, it is as spacious and comfortable as your favorite living room. It is warm, inviting, and illuminated with low, amber lights that are incredibly easy on your tired eyes. Leo and Zoe slowly step inside and lean back in their wide, ergonomic seats. The smart fabric of the seats instantly molds to the exact shape of their bodies, supporting every single tired muscle, gently taking away every ounce of tension from their backs and shoulders. There is no trace of the ancient fear of depths on their relaxed faces. There is only a deep, profound peace, an absolute sense of safety, and that sweet curiosity brought by gentle, effortless exploration. Fate Whisper's voice drifts from the glass console like a soothing night breeze. Internal pressure shields are fully active. The outside temperature is dropping rapidly as we prepare to descend, but your cabin heat is perfectly stabilized at 22 degrees, exactly how you like it. We are now beginning our silent, downward glide into the deep heart of the ocean. The sphere, without a single hum of an engine noise, without a single, tiny vibration, softly begins its vertical dive. It sinks almost like a soft feather falling from the night air into a perfectly still pond. That bright, moving, reflective blue of the surface gently turns into a deep, rich navy, and then slowly fades into a peaceful, serene twilight. Down, further down with every passing second, sinking deeper into the quiet. That once terrifying weight of billions of tons of water is now merely a visual feast, a slowly flowing, hypnotic dream playing out behind the transparent, unbreakable quantum glass. As Leo feels the comforting, soothing warmth of his herbal tea in his palms, he watches the gentle passing of bioluminescent, golden yellow jellyfish outside. They are floating gracefully, slowly pushing water, generating their own soft rhythm of golden light in the darkening abyss. They look like tiny, breathing stars scattered across the liquid universe. They smoothly pass through the midnight zone, where the ocean becomes entirely black, yet entirely, perfectly peaceful. This extreme depth, which used to make people's hearts race with panic, is now just a safe, incredibly slow, night journey. It feels exactly like floating through the vastness of the universe in a warm bubble of absolute security. Nothing can reach you here, nothing can harm you. And then, right from the middle of that bottomless, quiet darkness, a massive, breathtaking silhouette gently begins to appear in the headlights. Titanic, in its deep slumber of over a century and a half. That massive, tragic monument resting peacefully on the soft, pure white sands of the ocean floor. The smart, adaptive headlights of the transparent sphere softly dim their glow, ensuring the sudden light does not strain the eyes or ruin the solemn atmosphere. The massive, rusted steel bow slicing through the sand, the sweeping, empty decks, the old, decaying wooden remains, all are carefully illuminated with a soft, respectful golden twilight. The most sorrowful ship of the past is now silently, gracefully embracing the bright, caring technology of a new, gentle era. Fate Whisper's voice whispers once again, soft and low, "We have reached our destination, the absolute center of the depth. Your personal hydrojets are ready to use. Your invisible energy shields are 100% active and perfectly stable. The back section of the glass sphere opens gently, silently, without letting a single drop of the freezing ocean water inside. Leo and Zoe, without physically touching the cold water at all, transition seamlessly to their single-person, fully transparent underwater jets. These elegant, graceful vehicles move solely with the calm commands from their minds. They project an invisible, body heat-sensitive energy shield around them that completely and utterly keeps out the freezing cold and the crushing, deadly pressure of the ocean abyss. The massive weight of the water above them is entirely gone, unfelt. There is only that indescribable, floating lightness, giving them the exact feeling of flying through the soft clouds in a zero-gravity void. Starting from the massive, sharp bow of the sleeping Titanic, the duo joyfully begins to glide over the silent ship like graceful, slow-motion underwater birds. Zoe gently curves her body, diving like a playful dolphin through the massive, dark voids left behind by the ship's huge funnels, leaving a faint, dissipating trail of glowing, tiny bubbles behind her energy shield. Leo slowly draws wide, circular arcs around the ship's giant, half-buried bronze propellers, feeling absolutely no resistance from the thick water. This place, once associated only with sorrow, disaster, and danger, is now a silent and flawless underwater park where time itself has stopped breathing, and two friends play in complete, uninterrupted safety. The very light, deeply rhythmic, whispering vibration of the magnetic jets sings a soft, continuous lullaby to the body, relaxing every nerve. Everything is exactly as it should be, in absolute, perfect balance. Part 2. Return to the Fate Whisper Room and the Second Possibility. After a long moment of a soft, enveloping, warm glow, Leo and Zoe are transported back, sitting comfortably in the safe, amber atmosphere of the Fate Whisper Room. They are leaning deep back in their plush seats, breathing slowly, wearing that sweet, mesmerized, sleepy smile left by the absolute miracle they just experienced. Trying to suppress his lingering excitement, Leo speaks in a quiet, relaxed whisper. "Did you see that, Zoe? Gliding around those massive, ancient propellers. Flying inside that invisible, warm shield without ever feeling a single drop of the water. It was truly incredible." Zoe nods slowly, her heavy eyes shining with a calm, deep realization. "It was flawless, Leo. That feeling of absolute safety behind the transparent glass was so incredibly comforting. I felt so protected. But, as wonderful as it was, there was always a thin, invisible wall between us and the deep. What if we completely removed that wall? What if, instead of just looking at the ocean from inside a bubble, we became completely, physically one with it?" Fate Whisper's gentle, melodic voice fills the warm room once more, sounding like a proud, encouraging teacher, stopping the eternal fight against nature, and desiring to truly be a part of it. This is a wonderful, profound step for the human soul. Touch the second softly glowing button on the crystal console. I am taking you to an era where biological technology transforms humans into the ocean itself, to the wondrous year of 2095. Without any hesitation, smiling sleepily at each other, Leo and Zoe reach out and press the second button. The warm lights of the room ripple gently like small, soothing waves on a beach, and time bends and folds once again. 2095. Biological harmony and the silence of the deeps. We are standing on a smooth, wide wooden platform, gently swaying under a massive canopy of bright, twinkling stars on the surface of the quiet, midnight ocean. There are no vehicles here, no glowing shields, no transparent glass spheres or metallic engine noises anywhere to be heard. There is only Leo and Zoe, standing in the cool night air, and the soft, reassuring whisper of Fate Whisper guiding them directly inside their minds. Leo slowly brings his hand to his opposite arm. On his skin, covering his entire body, there is a smooth, faintly glowing layer, almost impossible to see with the naked eye. This is the greatest, most beautiful miracle of the year 2095. Temporary biological nanoskin, a tremendous organic technology that completely redesigns the human body's heat and pressure resistance, perfectly inspired by the resilient genetics of the mysterious creatures living in the deepest, darkest parts of the ocean. Fate whispers directly into their consciousness, a voice smooth as silk. The organic biolayers have successfully synchronized with all the potential pressure of the ocean. Your temporary gill implants are fully active and breathing. The return to the deeps begins now. Leo and Zoe step to the very edge of the wooden platform. They look at the dark water and surrender themselves to the arms of the cool waves without a single ounce of hesitation. That first, magical moment they enter the dark water. That cold, which would once create a freezing, painful shock to the system, now wraps around their bodies like a warm, soft, delicate spring breeze thanks to the invisible nanoskin. There is no shivering, no trembling muscles. There is only the endless, warm compassion of the enveloping water. And then comes the most enchanting, unbelievable moment. The moment of taking a breath, underwater. The delicate, organic gill implants placed smoothly on the sides of their necks gently filter the seawater, carrying pure, life-giving oxygen directly to their bloodstreams. Breathing underwater is suddenly as natural, as smooth, and as deeply relaxing as inhaling fresh, crisp air in a quiet pine forest. Their chests rise and fall slowly with the ancient rhythm of the sea. They are no longer fragile visitors from the surface. They are a true part of the ocean. As they swim effortlessly downwards, kicking their legs with slow, powerful, fluid strokes, massive, graceful shadows gently approaching from the darkness below begin to appear. Sharks, those ancient, flawless, misunderstood hunters of the deep. These majestic, slow-moving creatures, once feared by all of humanity for centuries, are now drawing completely peaceful, incredibly slow arcs around them. The special, organic biofrequencies continuously emitted by their nanoskin convey a clear, biological message to the sharks. We are not your prey. We are children of this sea, just like you. Zoe slowly reaches out her arm, extending her bare, unprotected fingers as a massive Greenland shark glides closely by. She gently, respectfully touches the rough, sandpaper-like fin of that massive creature. It doesn't flinch. It simply accepts her touch. Ancient human fears are entirely replaced by a pure, ancient harmony. Humans and nature, swimming gracefully together in the silent, comforting dark. And finally, that magnificent, haunting silhouette slowly appearing on the sands below. Titanic, with the massive, unimaginable weight of the entire ocean pressing down on their shoulders, they feel as light as a single feather floating in the wind thanks to their nanoskins. Leo slowly glides down to the massive, towering bow of the ship. He reaches out his hand. With his bare, unprotected fingers, he physically touches the century-old, freezing cold steel. He actually feels the rough, decaying texture of time and salt. There is no glass in between them anymore. There is no vehicle. There is only his flesh, and this massive monument frozen by time. Zoe glides like a graceful, silvery fish through the wide, dark void of the ship's old grand staircase, forgetting the concept of gravity entirely. She floats effortlessly past the rusted, ghostly chandeliers, swimming through the grand halls where the slow water current rocks her back and forth, just like a gentle cradle. The human body is finally one with the water. The slow, steady rhythm of the water is your rhythm. Your busy thoughts drift away with the slow current, dissolving into the sea. All that is left in your mind is this unique, absolute weightlessness. This absolute, profound, and unique peace. Part 3. Return to the Fate Whisper Room and the third possibility. With a sweet, slowly dissolving transition of lights, Leo and Zoe are instantly transported inside that magical, warm time room once again. There is no wetness on their clothes, not a single drop of seawater, nor any lingering fatigue of the immense depth in their muscles. Only that great, heavy serenity engraved deep in their souls can be read on their deeply relaxed faces. Taking a deep, long, incredibly satisfying breath, Zoe whispers softly into the quiet room, swimming side by side with those massive fish. Actually feeling the heavy water right inside my lungs, filtering the oxygen. It was the most liberating, incredible moment I have ever experienced in my entire life." Leo nods his head slowly in complete agreement, his voice barely above a soothing whisper. "I touched the steel with my own bare hands, Zoe. I felt the raw history beneath my fingertips. I was truly there, part of the wreck. But still, looking at it so closely, poor Titanic continues to rot in those freezing waters of the ocean, lonely, deteriorating, and cold. What if humanity decided to fully claim it? What if we completely expelled the crushing water, and turned that site into a warm, dry sanctuary where we could protect it forever?" Fate Whisper's soft whisper ripples gently along with the dim, amber lights in the room. Healing the wounds of the past with absolute compassion is one of humanity's noblest, most beautiful emotions. I am now transporting you to the very first massive museum built right in the heart of the ocean, to a bone-dry, warm, and brilliantly bright atmosphere. Please, reach out and touch the button for the year 2115. With great awe, and a deep, heavy sense of calm, Leo and Zoe slowly press the new button. The soft lights of the room now turn into a warm, comforting sand color, enveloping them entirely in a cozy glow. 2115, the flawless museum and the dry depth. We are standing on the desolate, incredibly quiet surface of the North Atlantic Ocean. In the exact middle of the dark, rolling sea, rises a massive, perfectly smooth architectural column that glows faintly against the dark night sky. This is a revolutionary magnetic elevator tube, extending all the way down to the bottom, 4,000 meters below the ocean surface. Leo and Zoe step inside the incredibly spacious cabin of the elevator. It doesn't look like an elevator at all. It resembles a high-end, luxurious hotel lobby, with soft, thick carpets underfoot and warm, ambient lighting glowing from the wood-paneled walls. Dressed in their most comfortable, soft, loose-fitting everyday clothes, they look exactly as if they have just stepped out for a slow, relaxing walk on a warm spring evening. Fate Whisper's voice spreads warmly inside the comfortable cabin. Magnetic descent is now initiating. The internal atmospheric pressure is completely stable and locked. Destination: the Titanic Underwater Open Air Museum. The elevator begins to descend downwards with incredible, mind-boggling speed. Yet it moves as smoothly as a floating feather drifting on a breeze. It utilizes a magnetic dampening technology that makes your body completely forget the pull of gravity. Standing by the panoramic glass, you watch the layers of the ocean outside turn from bright blue to deep indigo to a pure, hypnotic black. There is absolutely no nausea, no dizzying feeling of falling. There is only that sweet, comfortable heaviness, that wonderful feeling of safe surrender you get when you are slowly lying down on a soft, warm mattress after a long day. And seconds later, the quiet hum stops, and the grand doors gently slide open to both sides. The sight they encounter as they step out is a dreamlike, impossible miracle. There is no dark water under their feet. There is bone-dry, incredibly fine, pure white ocean sand. They step out of the elevator lobby, feeling the soft give of the sand beneath their comfortable shoes. They look up and see that they are surrounded by a nearly invisible, yet absolutely unbreakable energy glass dome, stretching for miles wide across the ocean floor. That massive, dark, crushing mass of water is completely held back on the outside of the dome. The inside environment is entirely cleared of water. It is completely dry, comfortably, soothingly warm, and filled with fresh, pure air carrying the faint, delightful scent of a gentle spring breeze. While bioluminescent fish and giant squids glide through the dark, heavy water outside the dome like slow-moving shooting stars, the Titanic stands right in front of them in the bright, dry, and perfectly clear air. Over the years, trillions of microscopic, diligent nanobots have meticulously cleansed the entire ship of its century-old rust, reforging the metal, restoring it to its flawless, pristine state from its very first day of launch in 1912. The massive black hull gleams flawlessly, the brass propellers shine like pure gold under the warm, carefully angled museum lights. Leo and Zoe slowly begin to walk together on those dry, fine white sands. At the absolute bottom of the ocean, 4 miles deep, with their hands resting casually in their pockets. They walk as a light, artificial spring breeze magically caresses their relaxed faces. The soft, rhythmic, crunching sound their steps make on the dry sand flawlessly and hypnotically blends with the muffled, deep, heavy hum of the massive ocean pressing against the outside of the glass dome. Leo walks right up to the massive ship and places his palm flat against the black steel hull. It is not freezing cold. It is not slimy or wet. He only feels the strong, warm, solid texture of history at his fingertips. They walk a little further away, sit down together on the warm, soft sand, and look up at the curved ceiling of the dome. A massive, graceful blue whale swims slowly right over the transparent glass, casting a beautiful, giant, moving shadow over the dry, brightly lit museum. That massive body of water above your head is no longer a crushing, terrifying weight. It is simply a massive, dark, and incredibly peaceful night blanket covering you, protecting you from the rest of the universe. Everything inside this dome surrenders to a flawless silence and absolute, deep peace. Part 4. Return to the Fate Whisper Room and the fourth possibility. When a soft, fading flood of light dims in the room, Leo and Zoe are transported back, sitting at the safe, familiar Fate Whisper console. Neither of them has yet gotten over the indescribable, surreal peace of that dry, breezy ocean floor. The beautiful feeling of looking straight up at the belly of the ocean from a dry, warm, sandy place lingers heavily in their sleepy minds. Leo slowly sinks deeper into his plush seat, closing his heavy eyes for a long moment. I simply can't comprehend it. Thousands of meters below the waves, I felt a warm spring wind blowing gently in my hair. The ocean practically became our quiet, protective roof. Zoe gazes absent-mindedly at the smooth, softly glowing walls of the windowless room, her voice incredibly soft. It was so deeply peaceful, Leo, just sitting on that dry, warm sand. But, going all the way down there was still via a fast elevator. Couldn't the act of getting there be just like a slow dream itself? I wonder if time can take us to a future so luxurious and comfortable that we can travel along the very bottom of the ocean, simply sleeping through the long, quiet journey? Fate Whisper's compassionate, incredibly soothing whisper answers them, wrapping around them like a warm blanket, an era where the slow journey itself is more enchanting and relaxing than the destination. You are very right, Zoe. We are now transitioning to that highly luxurious era, where entire continents are quietly connected by glowing, heated glass tubes right on the ocean floor. Welcome to the year 2150. Please, slowly touch the fourth button. In the sweet, heavy drowsiness of a new adventure, the duo touches the new year on the crystal console. The room's lights now take on the peaceful, crisp white and soft silver tones of a quiet, snowy winter night. 2150, the Glass Tunnel Train and the Cliff Hotel. We are far in the easternmost part of Canada, on a quiet, deeply snowy winter night. Large, soft, fluffy snowflakes are falling slowly and silently from the dark sky. Leo and Zoe step out of the cold and inside a bright, incredibly warm station built right on the snowy, icy shore. Before them lies a glowing, perfectly transparent tunnel extending downward, deep into the dark, freezing waters of the ocean, and waiting for them patiently inside that tunnel is a massive, incredibly sleek and beautiful glass train. The thick glass doors of the train open automatically with a soft, breath-like hiss. The interior is designed exactly like the most luxurious, cozy winter lodge you could ever imagine. Thick, warm, plush carpets cover the floor. Wide, deep velvet seats that recline perfectly into beds await them, and dim, warm, amber table lamps cast a sleepy, comforting glow over every surface. As they settle deeply into their incredibly soft seats, pulling a heavy, warm cashmere blanket over their laps, Fate Whisper's voice rings softly and calmly inside the cabin. Magnetic rails are now fully active. Forget the biting cold outside. Let go of all your tension. Focus only on the deep warmth and comfort of this present moment. Without making a single mechanical vibration, without a single bump, The long glass train glides silently forward on the magnetic rails and dives gently, slowly into the dark waters. The long journey on the ocean floor continues gently, without any rush, without any hurry. You are completely and utterly isolated from the chaotic world above. The pale, warm, guiding lights on the outer surface of the tunnel slowly illuminate the mysterious, untouched ocean floor they pass by, gliding safely over deep, ancient trenches, glowing coral reefs, and quiet sandy plains. From the comfort of his warm bed, looking through the glass, Leo watches schools of silver fish swimming at the exact same speed as the train, playfully darting around the glowing glass tube. It is freezing cold and pitch black outside, but the inside of the train is so wonderfully warm, so incredibly cozy and safe. The rhythmic, deep, incredibly low and steady hum of the train, humming continuously through the magnetic rails, sings a deep, hypnotic lullaby directly to the mind. For hours and hours, they just lie there, watching the hypnotic, endless flow of the dark ocean passing by, feeling heavier, sleepier, and profoundly safer with every single mile that passes. At the very end of this long, dreamlike journey, the train gently slows down and docks smoothly at the Cliff Hotel, an architectural marvel built directly into the rock, right on the edge of a massive, sweeping trench on the ocean floor. Leo and Zoe step out of the train into the warm lobby and go directly to their own private, expansive suite. They settle into the soft, oversized, plush armchairs positioned right next to the holographic fireplace burning brightly and warmly in the corner of the room. The rhythmic, popping, soothing crackle of the fire fills the quiet room with warmth and sound. And behind the massive, panoramic glass window taking up the entire front wall of the room, right below the steep cliff, rests the majestic Titanic in all its restored glory, bathed beautifully in soft, theatrical blue and purple spotlights. As the comforting warmth of the fire in the room licks your relaxed face, the tremendous, overwhelming feeling of safety that comes from watching the absolute, deadly silence of the deep ocean outside washes completely over you. Your heavy eyes are fixed on the glowing, pulsing red embers of the fire in the fireplace. The ocean outside is very deep, very, very silent. The warm, sporadic crackle of the fire, and the slow, deep, visual pulse of the ocean blend flawlessly with each other, inviting your mind to completely shut down and sleep. Part 5. Final return to the Fate Whisper Room and the fifth possibility. When Leo and Zoe gently materialize and return to the time machine room for the very last time, there is a heavy, incredibly sweet sleepiness resting in their drooping eyes. The deep warmth of the fireplace and the long, hypnotic lullaby of the underwater train seem to have taken away all the remaining, lingering fatigue in their bodies. They are completely, utterly relaxed, their muscles loose and heavy. Stretching out his words slowly, Leo speaks in a long, drawn-out whisper. I could have stayed in that deep underwater hotel forever. Just listening to the crackle of that fire, and watching that massive, silent darkness outside. It's an incredible, beautiful thing for a person to feel this safe, so completely far away from everything and everyone. Zoe leans her heavy head gently against his shoulder and smiles a sleepy, contented smile. It was beautiful, Leo, so beautiful. But even that relaxing train journey took hours and hours. Fate whisper. Is there a time in the future when all physical distances simply disappear? When we can reach exactly where we want to go merely with our minds, in the blink of an eye, without any travel at all? This time, Fate Whisper's voice whispers wisely from much, much deeper, sounding as if it is coming from the fabric of time itself, that ultimate, final era, where humanity has completely and flawlessly transcended physical boundaries. The year 2200, where all distances are reduced to absolute zero, where the beautiful past and the bright future echo simultaneously in perfect harmony. Are you ready for our final, peaceful jump? Just close your heavy, tired eyes, and softly touch the final button in the center. Leo and Zoe gently close their eyes, breathing out a long, deep, relaxing sigh, and press the last button on the console. As the lights in the room turn into a completely white, pure, and feather-light glow, the physical weight of their bodies slowly, entirely, disappears into the light. 2200. Teleportation, Eco City, and Quantum Echoes. There are no longer any long trains, no descending elevators, no glass spheres or vehicles of any kind. There is only that incredible, feather-light, spiritual moment of floating, feeling your heavy body temporarily transform into billions of warm, glowing light particles, dissolving peacefully into the universe. And mere seconds later, when they gently open their eyes, they are standing 4,000 meters below the ocean. But it is not dark here. It is not cold. This is a breathtaking, massive eco-city, ruled by lush green nature and warm, ambient light, built safely inside massive, invisible energy shields that effortlessly hold back the weight of the ocean. On the soft, white sands rise massive, genetically engineered biological trees, whose wide leaves naturally produce their own golden yellow, soothing light, softly illuminating the winding pathways. Crystal clear, slow-moving water channels run peacefully between the lush gardens. Right next to Zoe, a peaceful, quiet dog silhouette made entirely of soft, warm photons of light silently accompanies them, wagging its tail slowly, offering a profound feeling of pure loyalty and calm. And right in front of them, resting gracefully in the very heart of this bright, lush underwater city, stands that historical monument. Titanic, surrounded by beautiful, endless green parks, blooming, colorful flowers, and embraced with absolute, unwavering compassion by the people of the future. Leo and Zoe step slowly, reverently onto the beautifully polished wooden deck of the ship. Leo reaches out and gently touches an old, delicate porcelain teacup that has been carefully preserved on a small wooden table. Right at that exact moment, the city's quantum echoes smoothly activate. That old, tragic time from 1912 comes back to life on the deck, but not as a tragedy. It appears in the form of a golden yellow, transparent, beautiful, ghostly light. In the quiet, warm air, a highly nostalgic, incredibly slow and beautiful violin melody begins to echo softly, playing a familiar, comforting tune. In the middle of the wide deck, silhouettes made of warm, golden light slowly begin to waltz to the soothing rhythm of the music. Those elegant ladies in their long dresses and gentlemen in their suits from 120 years ago glide peacefully by, with endless, perfect peace radiating on their glowing faces. That unfinished, sorrowful story of the past is finally, beautifully completed in the warm, forgiving arms of the future. Time is merely a perception, an illusion, and you are in absolute safety right at the center of that perception. Whether you pierce the darkness safely behind the quantum glass in 2072, or swim freely and peacefully with gentle sharks in the waters of the ocean in 2095, whether you walk slowly on the dry, warm sands in the museum of 2115, or fall deeply asleep by the warm, crackling fireplace in 2150, or waltz among the beautiful, golden memories in the year 2200, they all lead to the exact same place. To absolute, unwavering safety. To absolute, deep, profound peace. Now, inside that beautiful, perfect future you have chosen, your eyelids are getting heavy. So incredibly heavy. As heavy as those white sands resting at the bottom of the ocean. Take a deep, slow breath in, filling your lungs, and let it all out, slowly. Let yourself sink completely into the compassionate, silent, warm embrace of the ocean, drifting further and further into deep comfort. Let go of all the weight, of all the thoughts, forever. Good night, and sweet, peaceful journeys to the silent, endless, and beautiful dreams of the ocean.